I've had some day, kid. I knocked over the microphone. Look, it's broke. Oh, jeez, it's worse.
It's just dropping.
So
it's like Joe Dolan turning up here.
I have to hold the mic.
Oh, me, oh, my.
You make me sigh. You're such a good-looking turkey. Remember Dustin sang that? It went to number 1. Yeah,
I love that Dustin album.
Yeah. The mic's down, Tommy. I got to hold it for the rest of the show. Yeah.
You slagged me for this once. Well, listen, I have to comment on the jersey as well.
Yes!
Munster old school, fair play. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, well, I asked your opinion about should I wear the jersey. I haven't taken it off for the week, man. I've never been prouder. It was amazing. I can't wait to chat to you about it. I can't wait to tell you about the weekend we had. It was great.
Well, listen, we will get to that. We have to obviously ask you about your trip over to La Rochelle against La Rochelle and Roger's team over there. The atmosphere looked unbelievable. But, of course, we do have the man who could put an end to that Munster jersey this weekend is Joey Carbery. Bordeaux out half is going to be joining us as well. So looking forward to
Joey, you beauty.
Former Munster out half, former Leinster out half. So I think he's, given the week that is, brilliant to have him on board with us as well. Any other crack? How's things?
Yeah, things are good. Yeah, bar breaking the mic. We Jenny's birthday this week. Yeah, but it's all's good, yeah.
So how did you break it? What did you do?
I basically pushed over that stand, so it was on that, and then I knocked it off, and this bit, see that? Look, that break came off from that bit.
Okay,
but
right.
I
Well,
think
people who are listening can't see what that is.
No, they can't see that. I'm basically showing.
Next.
Yeah, I'm showing you 2 bits that snapped, but it's no harm because an awful lot of people do comment that maybe our mics aren't to the same level. So I'm just going to get you to send me whatever mic you have, and I'll pick it up.
Well, I am in a hotel here at the minute, but I'm not actually staying in a hotel. I'm robbing the free Wi-Fi, and someone's just opened the door to the conference room that I've snuck into. So it's a bit echoey, and I get told to get out of here. But it's.
I love that
we're a bit all over the place today.
We get a guest, one of the greatest Irish players around, Joey Carbery, and halfway through the interview, Tommy's booted out of the hotel for robbing their Wi-Fi.
Well, it can't be as bad as you with Nigel Owens. We're literally talking about respect and about how important respect is in rugby, and that we listen to each other, and you go off and start talking to the room service.
I put, the thing outside.
You got up and left the conversation while he was talking about the respect needs to be shown to referees.
Oh yeah, that was bad. I did put the do not disturb sign on the door, but this fella bowled in anyway. So then I had the tick head on me, and you know that kind of one where I just grab him with a scruff, and they're like, "Will you get older?"
Take you back to the good old days. Go on, right. Tell us before, because we're not going to go back over all the matches.
Yeah, let's not.
Leinster were amazing last weekend.
Ulster
really put it up to Bordeaux.
Don't you join Danny Kerr and all this, you know what I mean? And with all this, let's put Leinster up on high. Can we say Leinster were really good, but Harlequins were shit.
Danny Kerr got empty. Did you see that clip of, I think, Sheehan smashed him? When you're, I don't know what, he's probably late 30s, Danny Kerr at this stage. Playing great rugby, good on him. But
absolutely,
when you got
great guy.
Absolutely emptied like that.
But I don't like it. I was listening to their pod on the BBC, and he's on it, and I love that he contributes the way that he's playing, and I love his insight for it. But I don't like him throwing bouquets purely on the fact of them totally underperforming.
They got absolutely destroyed.
Absolutely,
destroyed.
But they went the other way. Like, his line is that Leinster team is better than Ireland, and that might be from his view. You know what I mean? But at least put it up to them. And I like, just genuinely, everyone was giving Saracens stick for sending a third or seconds team, but at least they showed up and gave it some. Harlequins had their best players on the pitch, and they were spineless, man. They were yellow. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, I've no problem saying that. I think, like, if I was a Harlequin supporter, I would be gutted with that performance. And if I was an English supporter, I think it's damning on your league. You know what I mean?
Well,
that
to nil them 62-0 in front of 55,000 in Crow Park. I mean, that's a pretty bad day. Now, you did mention Saracens. I mean, Saracens got hammered by Toulon, 72 points on them. So, I mean, it's like, to be fair, you were at the one game that was pretty close. Ulster put it up to Bordeaux. It looked pretty dodgy.
Did you?
You know, I think it was 20-0 in the opening couple of minutes. It wasn't looking good, but at least they got themselves back into the match. I think they go home with their heads held somewhat high. given they're up against a top quality side like Bordeaux. It would be interesting to see though, because they look like it could be beaten. So we'll be asking Joey about that later. But go on, tell us I think there was 3,000 Munster supporters over in La Rochelle at the weekend. The atmosphere looked unreal. Not even around the pitch, just before it even as well.
Yeah, all weekend. To be honest, Tommy, and look, I'm biased, but the Munster's
just a
different.
bit.
Yeah, but Munster's different. I genuinely think one man Munster fan equals like 10 any other rugby fan. You know what I mean? That's just how good they are, and the tie-in with the team is unquestionable. Like the team went for a walk down.
That's not been the way for all the time, but anyway, it was at the weekend. They were fantastic.
You've no higher ground now, Tommy.
They were the hardcore supporters there. Like that's your loyal 3,000 pay big money to go La Rochelle, and it was worth it.
They're the guys that can afford to too as well. You know what I mean? There's no kind of disassociate, and an awful lot of them, I couldn't believe it, a load of them were going staying out there. They were like,
oh, are they?
Well,
that was the big question, because of course they're playing Bordeaux. It's only up the road.
You know, you're not going to get the same numbers, and if the Ulster game was on pretty much the same day, they would have known, and they would have been able to probably get organised for sure, because an awful lot of them, they weren't not going to take the flight that they'd booked and stuff like that.
I mean, it was a special game because of the Rog factor too. Come on, they have to take that into it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Geez, there's no taking away from that, and actually that's what probably drove it. But one person I must single out that is just different, and I know you're going to laugh at all the kind of viral clips of him, but Mick Galwey, man, from the moment I've come into a Munster dressing room, Mick Galwey is this unbelievable spiritual leader of Munster. His ability to tap into the DNA of where we're from and what we're about. And I know everyone looks at the clip of him on the forklift singing Zombie, but like, and it is great crack. But what he's there, man, what he's doing there is mobilising. You know what I mean? He's putting everyone, and he had the chat with Rog about paying tribute to Mick O'Dwyer, and they did, to be fair to them, they did that so well. And then there was this kind of moment with the La Rochelle supporters where they did, it wasn't just a picture of Mick O'Dwyer on the screen. They gave an unbelievable spiel in French about him. And then, yeah, they did. And then they led to these kind of conversations with these French people. You know what I mean? About who?
So it's this game with a stick, and you run around, you smash the ball at each other.
He's a footballer, you
I
mean, really, you're just...
I knew that. Fuck's sake.
But there you go. Apologies. But do you know what? It just actually it banged at home that Munster's a province. You know what I mean? And it's when it all. No. But you like we go at each other. Cork, Clare, Limerick, Waterford. You know what I mean? When we hurl and when we football. Yeah. But then when it comes together, there's some brilliant days. It was incredible. It was honestly,
it looked unbelievable, and in the atmosphere, everything around it with Ronan O'Gara, you talking up before the game, going, "I think we can do them." I have to say, a number of weeks ago, I thought there was no chance, but given La Rochelle's form, we just said before the game, for those La Rochelle players, if they want to mobilise, this is going to be the game that they turn up for their head coach, and they did at the start, but geez, Munster just seemed to just get their way in there. Teddy Thomas, the try line at his beck and call.
Can you tell me there though?
They just never gave up. I think Munster didn't, which was just fantastic. No lost causes. They fought for everything, which is what Munster rugby was built on.
100% it. Tommy, that's the golden rule when it comes to Munster rugby. You know what I mean? It just show where you're from. You know what I mean? Stay in the fight. You know what I mean? Keep punching. And that team certainly did it. You mentioned the Teddy Thomas moment. Just tell us there from your point of view as a finisher, like that.
Oh, yes. Teddy Thomas is so gifted. I mean, he's gifts on a rugby, like in terms of speed, I wish I had. I mean, he's rounded me that many times, but when he's gets the ball with an acre of space outside him and looking up and seeing two props, you know, there should be only one thought that goes into your head. But listen, we've all made decisions in the heat of the moment. You're not thinking clearly, and he looked back on that wondering he'll never be able to forgive himself.
But do you know what? Listen, was it the fact that it was nearly too easy for him to step under and burn three fellas and go under the sticks is a better score? Was he looking for, you know what I mean? Was it just?
I've no idea, honestly. Like, what can you say? I mean, this guy, he could easily have just put the foot down, burned them, no problem. But to step back inside,
Can I tell you one thing?
Sometimes you're just not thinking clearly. You know yourself, and particularly when you're on the wing, there's times whenever you might not be involved in the game for long. He might have made a mistake a few minutes before that, might have been playing over his head. And just you kind of get caught up in your own head instead of thinking clearly. And clearly he wasn't thinking straight at that stage. And like I'd say Rog probably looks at that and go, come on, man, you've got to be taking those.
Absolutely. I don't want to take away from the fact that he was immense, though. Throughout the whole game, he was a point of difference within it. You know what I mean?
But that's he is. He's an X factor player.
Do you know what I think it was as well, Tommy? That corner, right? Honestly, there was all Munster supporters in that corner. It seemed like, 300, the Spartans. It was easier to take on the lads on the pitch than try to run it into that Munster supporters crowd. They were honestly on it. I know everyone is throwing bouquets about the performance, and there was some brilliant ones. Casey, Crowley. I actually shouldn't have started naming, you know what I mean, Gavin Coombs. But just for watching it, man, for me, John Klein, and it actually, I know you're going to get disappointed, but I just want to make a point about it. I think the only other enforcer like him that we have in Irish rugby is Joe McCarthy, and I actually can't believe that we didn't cap him and keep him within the Irish system. Like, he is a World Cup medal, and we left him head back to South Africa. It's a very unique skill of what he has. It's like, and Tommy, you don't like it, you know what I mean? I have appreciation for it. It's the grunt, man. It's horrible. His job is horrible, but he is so good at it. And you should have seen him with Skelton, man. It was like pay-per-view. They were non-stop going at it. And you know what I loved about it? There was an honour to it. They weren't looking for referees to sort it out. They were just honestly flaking each other around the pitch for like close on the first 30 minutes. You should have seen it. Every breakdown, every kill, they were rowing after it. I just thought he was immense. And
well, Jean Klein, I don't think has ever had that sort of compliment paid to him from another Munster legend second as well. I have to say, I think Ty Byrne is the best Irish rugby player out there at the minute, and he epitomised the passion of Munster at the weekend. And of course, Jack Crowley with that drop goal in La Rochelle. Of course, Ron O'Gara tried to sign him before. He's just signed this new 2-year deal with Munster as well. I'd love to get Joey Carbery's opinion on that. Go on quickly.
Just on that, the whatever about the execution of the drop goal, which was brilliant. I loved it for game management, for just actually using the scoreboard to squeeze their balls. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, you should have seen the whole, like, you could feel the panic within the stuff. And like, I think that takes time for a halfback to learn. You know what I mean? That ability to use the scoreboard pressure. And Jack did that brilliantly. You know what I mean?
He nailed it. He absolutely nailed it.
Everything, yeah.
Here, I have to ask you before we get on to Joey, because he's joined us very shortly. Would you have loved to play in France?
Ooh, when you see what it means, it's the closest thing to GAA. That is like hurling for Kilkenny, or, you know what I mean, playing football for
Parochial. Do you know what I mean? It's like the town. Like, because La Rochelle's not a big place, but by God, they buy into it, don't they?
100%. So we were in the harbour, and what happens really early in the day, they all meet up there, everyone's drinking, they're having a great time, and then they go to the match. Everyone leaves in a kind of parade, and they're throwing confetti and stuff. But like, it is the, you know what I mean, the scene of the week, and that's where you catch up with people. It's the closest thing you could say.
Did you ever have a chance to go to France?
I had an opportunity with Narbonne back in the days. Have I ever told you the story? I don't know.
I don't think so.
So, you know, I don't drink, like, so. We basically, everything was agreed, and I was green light ready to go. They brought myself and Jenny over. They brought us to this beautiful house in Narbonne on the beach. It was absolutely stunning. Brought Jenny around, brought us to the international school, because Sophie and Anna were quite young and they'd be starting this incredible school. So then we went to lunch with all the important people. The agent that was representing me, he wasn't my agent, but you know the way France works, it's
you have to have a French agent
that's linked to that club. So he was there, and the mayor of the town was there, along with the owner of the vineyard, who would be funding the monies into it. So this incredible lunch in this beautiful vineyard, and they they went to, or they were going around the table, and he said, on this special occasion, we're going to open up one of our first vintage, first crops or whatever it is of wines. So, Tommy, they poured it into this thing, which was the equivalent of like something you'd see in a chemistry lab. You know,
Yeah,
it went
a decanter, like a decanter, yeah. That's
Yeah,
what it is,
but-
red
but
wine.
the-
Good
like
red
they-
wine. For the drinkers out there, they know what that is. Right.
But they poured it from, honestly, about 4 meters away. You know what I mean? So it went down and it aired itself all the way, and everyone's explaining that this is in the family blood for so long and how important it is to this man. And when it got to my glass, being a non-drinker, a teetotaler, I covered my glass. I put my hand over my glass, and I was there. I'm okay, I don't drink. Tommy, I'm not joking, man. If I'd slapped the man in the face, I wouldn't have insulted him more. It was the greatest, and all I could hear beside me, right, Jenny, you know Jenny, like she's going, all I could hear was, drink the wine, drink the wine, Donners, drink the fucking wine, drink the wine. Honestly, Tommy didn't drink the wine, and I swear to God, it was all over. Your man got up and left, everyone walked out, over. Game over. Forget about it.
Find your own way home.
Yeah, well, pretty much. That was it. It was over. Like, Jenny always tells her buddies about it. Like, the one time Donners didn't drink that cost us an unbelievable life experience. But it was,
Gee, you were obviously fairly close. Like, because I spoke to Clermont at one stage, and I think I spoke to Stade Francais, but like, I never actually got to the stage of going over there. I just went to Wales. What was I thinking? But like,
no, you and that
you had a
Clermont team.
chance.
I was over. Like, honestly, where I dropped the ball, honestly, was in disrespect. And what I didn't
How would
realise.
you have gone though? Like, are we just trying to G up your
Tommy,
contract?
are you mental, man? I would have floored a bottle of wine. I would have been like in the dentist's chair if I'd known what I know now. I would have been like, open 6 more bottles. I just love it though that Jenny was there, because Jenny's quite composed, and she normally, like, she no problem with me not drinking, but she spotted that I was being disrespectful, because wine in France is different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's not they're not asking to neck it, like, it's just a sip. No. It's a sociable thing, yeah.
And it was what I didn't realise, and I was sorry for, it was his culture, and I was disrespectful to that, and I didn't cop it at the time. So yeah, it was a
but you stuck to your values.
Yeah, a little bit, but I'd gladly swallow them now for doing 2 years in Narbonne. Keep the values. The house was on the beach, man. You should have seen the international school. We could have had a ball. Not only that, right? Genuinely, you know what they were telling me, right? They were like, we don't care, and actually you mightn't play on the road. We've no interest in. We always win at home. We always win at home. We get as far up the league as we can, but we never go up. I was there like this. Incredible.
Unbelievable. That's a winner.
The remit, man. I was there like this. So basically what they're telling you is every second weekend is off, and when you get to the you know what I mean? The nasty bit where you
drink the fucking drink, Donncha.
I'd say every night before Jenny goes to sleep, she goes back to that moment. I'm lucky she didn't grab it naked.
I remember actually as well, I almost signed for a Japanese team, the Coca-Cola team. Went and met the owner of the Japanese Coca-Cola team in London. And I drank the Coca-Cola. But the season was only meant to be 6 months long, and then I was going to go off and play Super Rugby. I was hoping to go and play Western Force over in Perth.
Amazing.
That was the plan. But Coca-Cola had just got promoted that year, and with the whole culture, it's run by the business, Coca-Cola. So he wanted me to stay with the company for the year, if you know what I mean. So play for the club, but actually wanted me to be a part of the culture and not just kind of sail in, play a couple of matches and sail out again. He wanted me to stay there for the year. Wow. I was like, no, I want to go to Perth. So, I mean, I was very close to doing that. But anyway, we'll keep that for another day.
Yeah. We'll keep it going.
Let's move on to a man who probably is enjoying the wine down in Bordeaux, of course. 37 caps for Ireland. He's played for Leinster, played for Munster, played for Bordeaux. He's now living over in Bordeaux with his son and his Mrs. Robin as well. Shall we bring Joey Carbery in for a chat?
Go on, Joey Carbery, you absolute beauty.
Right, here he is.
There he is. Go on, Joey, you beaut.
Destroy Munster this weekend. Let's get to that in a few minutes. Joey, how are you? How's life in Bordeaux?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. But no, yeah, it was a good weekend last weekend. Hopefully, make it another good weekend this weekend.
It's unbelievable. You go all the way to France and you play 2 Interpros. You know what I mean? They're like the biggest games.
I know. And you have boys coming up to you asking, what was it like playing against these guys here? And I was like, I actually haven't played Munster in 7 years. So yeah, it's going to be weird.
Oh, well, of course, you're so used to playing for Munster. Here, go on, tell us, so how's life in Bordeaux first? I mean, like we were literally just talking, so Donncha was just telling us the story about how he nearly got signed for Narbonne, but he wouldn't drink the wine, so they wouldn't sell him. Are you enjoying the wine in Bordeaux? I mean, you can't get much better than that.
The wine is pretty good. And it's a fabulous place to live. Like, the city's class, and then the team's pretty good as well. To be honest, for me, it's a breath of fresh air coming over here and being involved in a team with those kind of guys. And then even from a lifestyle point, and just being able to live in a cool city, go to the beach, the weather makes a huge difference. And the language is hard, but I'm getting there slowly. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the first year's gone.
How important is the language, Joey, for your position? You know what I mean? If you're going to drive the bus, you being able to even just dictate the week and drive the week, is that really important that you have the lingo?
Yeah, definitely. And I think having Noel McNamara here in Bordeaux, he gives me bits of heads up here and there and helps me with presentations. So that definitely helped. But the calls and the rugby language is kind of Franglish, we call it. So it's a bit of French, bit of English. So
the Ronan O'Gara team talk style. Say fucking
his French is a bit yeah, exactly. But you guys kind of know, like, the calls of plays and stuff like that. Like, you can get to grips with that pretty quickly. But it's probably the ones where you want, like, someone to bounce or you want someone to cut off you. That's where the French comes in. So definitely getting there. It's tough. It's a tough language, but every day it's becoming a little bit easier.
And tell me, how's the wife settling in? Your son? I mean, it must be an amazing opportunity for the three of you to have, like, what an experience.
Yeah, it's really cool. Robin and Bowe, they're getting on great. It is obviously tough. Bowe's our first kid, so it's tough not having family around.
Yeah.
But to be honest, they come over pretty often. It's an easy enough flight, an hour and 20 minutes, so we have a lot of help, which is great. And then yeah, like we're pretty lucky as well that, like, we don't have kids in school, that we could take this opportunity. Like, I know a few of my friends probably haven't taken this opportunity purely because their kids are a little bit older and they have a few more responsibilities back home. So it was a good time in our lives to be able to do this.
It's a big move when you do it, Joey, because you know you're closing the door to international honours, but it gives, on the other side then, with kind of lifestyle experience and family values and stuff like that, you know, do you think there's an awful lot of fellas at home that should look to maybe, you know, get overseas and you know, not sit in just the environment where they play smaller parts and where they could definitely be playing bigger parts with bigger clubs?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I suppose playing for Ireland is always a huge motivation to stay in Ireland. And I suppose when you're playing in that 23 week in, week out for Ireland, it's pretty hard to say no to. But for me, that was taken away from me. So this opportunity came up, and it was something that I would have probably regretted not doing. So I thought, you know what, why not? And I do think as well, it's, you guys know more than anyone as well, that, like, as rugby players, you're kind of in the environment quite early, from 18 pretty much. So you miss out on J1s, you miss out on your mates' parties or going to Australia or whatever it is. So for us, it was an opportunity to live abroad, to do something different. Well, it will always come home, depending on when, but it's a pretty cool experience to say you lived in France for a while.
Listen, I moved to Wales, to the Ospreys, not quite Port. We used to
Bordeaux, Swansea.
We used to call it
the road less travelled.
Magaluf without the sunshine.
Do you know what it is?
Swansea.
It's like an episode of High Road, Low Road, and Tommy got Low Road.
Well, you went to Worcester. I mean, he just came back with a boiler. I mean, how did it come about? Like, how does because we were both saying, like, we would have probably loved to try and sample France, but it's a different culture, you know, the agents and trying to sort it out and stuff. Like, did you have to go meet the owner? Did you, like, how does that all work?
I suppose the initial part of it starts with your agent approaching you, being like, look, this club is interested, this club is interested, how you feel. So that was a big thing for me. Noel got in contact with me, and it was kind of just got rolling from then. Went over, visited the club, met Yannick, met Laurent, and then it was pretty much like, here's an offer, you want to take it? There's a 4 weeks kind of before you have to say yes or no, and then it kind of happens pretty quickly.
And when you met Yannick and Laurent, were they like, is it kind of traditional what you'd expect in Ireland, or is it a bit more, can you go down to their offices or drink the wine in the vineyard like Donncha? Was there anything peculiar about it, or was it just pretty normal?
Pretty normal. It's definitely a bit different over here, though. Obviously, with Laurent being the president, it's different because I suppose it's his baby.
Yeah.
So you do feel a little bit more pressure, I suppose, to play for him. But it's like I couldn't complain one bit at all about how they look after us. Like the treatment, the facilities, and the food and everything is incredible. There's no wine at lunch, but it's pretty good other than that.
Is it quite relaxed? I mean, listen, you are playing in a team full of absolute megastars. You know, you have Jalibert who you're going up against, which is, you know, the starting out half for France pretty much. You have the likes of Damien Penaud on the wing, who's incredible. You have the Six Nations Player of the Year, Bielberry. I mean, like, you must be just turning up to train and watching these guys move, going, my God, this is a different level compared to Munster.
Yeah, completely. The way they prepare, it's like they do prepare, but they're so much more relaxed about it. Where like in Ireland, it would be like, we have to do this on a Monday, we have to do that on Tuesday, we have to do this on a Thursday. We're over here, it's kind of like, did we get that through? Oh no, we'll just do that tomorrow. Okay. Whatever, we'll kind of tick away. But it's just their mentality is very much like, they know how good they are. They're not cocky, they're not arrogant, but like, they back themselves, which I kind of appreciate. And I'm like, it's a nice way to be going into a game, being like, you know what, the likes of Louis or Damien, they're like incredible try scorers, but they know it themselves, and they don't get too stressed. They're like, you know what, I'll go out and do my job, I'll score 2 tries. It's pretty easy.
It's amazing though. It's actually probably an Irish trait, Joey, isn't it, to kind of nearly talk ourselves into nearly negatives. So, you know, if I don't overwork, I'm not going to perform. Whereas these guys, like you said, absolutely backing themselves and their ability.
Huge. And then I think even having worked with Jalibert as well, and like having worked with other teams, they're quite strict and regimented when it comes to their kicking throughout a week. Where over here it's, I'm not feeling it today, I didn't kick well, I'll just kick 2 and then I'll leave it, kick with a few more tomorrow. Where like working with other teams in the past, they probably wouldn't sleep if they missed 1 or 2 kicks in training.
Johnny and Rog would be fine with just taking 2.
Can you imagine 2 lads?
Could you imagine them?
So yeah, it's definitely it's a refreshing kind of way of looking at it. Not getting as worked up and feeling more free, I suppose, in the game. It shows in the way they play as well.
And it shows the way you play as well. Like, I mean, and it seems like the style of rugby that they play suits you down to the ground. It's free flowing, you're playing off the cuff. I mean, and you showed some amazing touches against Ulster, as much as I was devastated with you last weekend. But listen, we all know you were absolutely tormented with injuries as well. And I'd say that was a big driver in wanting to go over there and starting afresh. And then, of course, you get over here and you injure yourself in the first game as well. I mean, you must have been thinking, my God, is this ever going to go right for me? But it looks like you're back fit, healthy, loving rugby again. Do you think playing in the sunshine, the nice weather, and a different style of rugby helps?
I think so. I think, like you said, it was obviously pretty crap at the start to hurt my hand, but I think for me, the biggest thing has just been getting minutes under my belt. Like, the more I play, the more game ready I feel. You take the knocks, you kind of ride with the hits a lot better. So I'm loving it, and playing with the dry ball, training with the dry ball, not running in mud. It's great.
Do you tackle? Did they do any tackling over there?
You're saying everything I hate, Joey. I'm there.
You'd be surprised. We do contact a lot.
All right.
Tuesday, Wednesday, probably the first 10-15 minutes of training is full on. Nice. So I suppose maybe that's another reason you do definitely ride with the punches a little bit more, I suppose, when you're more exposed to it. So that was a shock at the start, but now you do get used to it.
Like get battle hardened for it. Joey, just on that though, the resilience there, because no one knows how difficult it is to come back from injuries, but then to be, so unfortunate with them. How did you find that kind of mentally staying on it to, keep coming back, keep prepping to get to this point where, you're going out in quarterfinals of European Cups now and big games every week?
It's very hard. I'm not going to lie and say it's easy. I do think the first few really hit you, but you do, for me anyway, it was you do learn how to deal with it, and I think having other things happening outside of rugby is massive. Whether it's loved ones, family, friends. For me, during my ankle injury, I actually started my masters and ended up finishing that like a year ago. So to have that, I suppose, as a distraction for me was great. Because if you do, you can get a bit of a rut where you come in and you're like, I just want to be playing, I want to be involved, I want to be going out on Saturday with the boys, and then you can't, and it's taken away from you. So you have to have other things to distract you, to excite you. So that for me was a massive thing rather than just sitting around waiting to get back.
What was Masters in?
Did an MBA.
Oh, did you? Because I'm an engineer as well. You see Donncha there.
I like basketball as well.
He did a barista course once. And so make a flat white.
I'll tell you about that some other time. Jeez, good on you, Joey. Good on you. Unbelievable. Joey, chat to us about the top 14, though, because I think everyone around world rugby is envious of your league. To be fair, it's the one league that it's on, isn't it? You know what I mean? There's tradition, there's history, but every week, man, it is blockbuster, isn't it?
Oh, I can't even describe the fans over here. So I don't think we've played in half-filled stadium this year. It's always full. It's always. We played Perpignan maybe 4 weeks ago away, and we got off the bus and probably a 5-10 minute walk into the change room. It was a crowd of about 2,000 people followed us, booing us the whole way. And it's just like, even some of the guys who, a lot of them aren't from Bordeaux, they're from around the place, and they get picked up in the academies and stay up. But if they're from a place and they're playing for Bordeaux against the place they're from, they just get abuse and hate, and it's just crazy. But it's crazy. Like you said, every week is a massive game. But some of these guys floating around the top 14, like you play the Vinnapolders, you play Tuolangi, they're all in these teams, and you're just like, every week is almost like a Champions Cup week. So it's tough, and there's a lot of games. I think we're on our 20th game already this season in the top 14. So it's definitely a lot grueling, but that's why the squads have to be so much bigger here.
I mean, it looks an incredible squad, and we just saw on the news this week that Cardiff now are gone into administration. The WRU are taking them over. We saw Worcester Warriors. Donncha would be delighted to see them back again. But rugby in other leagues looks like it's struggling, where in France it is the one league that seems to be just knocking it out of the park. These crowds, the money deals, everything seems to be going the right direction. What is it? Because Donncha was kind of saying it's nearly like GA, it's kind of that community feel. Is that what it is, that, the whole town really buys into this and needs into their team?
I think so. I suppose as well, I know France is obviously a massive country, but the amount of teams over here is absolutely incredible. One of the guys was telling me, I think there's 4 leagues of professional rugby teams, and then it starts to get to amateur, which is just when you think about the amount of players playing, it's crazy. And like you said, I think it's got that township feel where you feel like you're part of a place, and the supporters are like, this is our town. And it means so much to them, I suppose, when you play in the top 14 and you go away to a different team, and you can feel how proud they are of their team. And I feel it in Bordeaux every time, not even being here, but I think we've sold out every game this year, which is just to get there every week in, week out, no matter what the weather, no matter the time. It's crazy.
Yeah. Can I ask you something about that home pitch? Is there still that crazy tunnel, man, that you leave your dressing room at 4:30 for the game at 5 o'clock?
It's still there.
Have you still got shuttle buses or something?
We need it, genuinely. When you're coming in at half-time, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because there's a bit of a hill towards the end of it as well.
You don't tell us, man. We played Georgia there. Remember that World Cup where we nearly lost to them? And fellas couldn't make it up the tunnel. We were there, oh, jeez, no, come
That's where
us.
it all went wrong. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Tell the Munster lads to not fall for that one.
We were saying it'd be great to have a few golf buggies with flat white machines in the back.
There you go, get you up there.
Is it actually that long?
No, it's not that long. It'd take you the guts of 5 minutes though to get from the stadium to the dressing room.
It's that long. But hold on, right?
Because
Joey,
when
you're not used to it, right? You give the rally call in the dressing room, right? And then you're there, yeah, let's go hop off him. And then like 5 minutes later, you're at the pitch. You know what I mean? You're like, this is wild.
Well, it looked like some atmosphere at the weekend. Now, to be fair, tell us. Can I just ask you, when you were leaving Munster, how did that come about? Was it a tough decision at the time, or was it one you felt you needed to make?
It was a tough decision. I think Munster were very keen to keep me, and they offered me pretty good contracts. But it was more so just for my mental state. I needed a fresh break. I felt like I was in a bit of a rush. Obviously, hadn't been picked for Ireland, and then didn't play a few times for Munster either. So I felt like I was worth a lot more than that. So I wanted to, kind of came around that I said to Robin, if the right club in the right place came knocking, I'd definitely take it. And when Bordeaux's offer came in and the opportunity to come here, it was just like a no-brainer for me, really. It was a fresh start. It was a great team to be involved with. It was a team that's going to challenge for both competitions we're playing in, and then lifestyle-wise, it doesn't get too much better either. So, for me, it was a tough decision to leave Munster purely because I get on so well with the guys there. But for my career, I think it was a good move.
Absolutely, and what a team to be joining as well. I need to get this right. Was your last game or one of your last games for Ireland against Fiji, and the guy got sent off, hitting you in the head? Was that right?
That was my last game. Yeah.
I mean. Does it annoy you that? Because I remember that, like, you were given your opportunity to start for Ireland, and completely reckless tackle like that knocks you out, and you lose. I mean, I just felt so sorry for you that time, because sometimes you need something to go your way, and it didn't that time.
Yeah, I think so. And then I think the week after, then Johnny pulls out in the warm up.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've ever been involved in a game where he's pulled out in the warm-up. So I was like, of course. The game where I could have got it. And then the two boys who played in that then got picked for the Six Nations the following year. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, that's when Jack came in, wasn't it?
Yeah, he started it, and then Ross came in from 24th man and then got that kick. So, yeah, look, it happened. But, look, sometimes things aren't fair.
Yeah. No,
that's
you're
the
right.
truth though, Joey, isn't it? Like, sometimes, honestly, it's so crazy to say, but you do need that bit of luck, man, don't you? And like, I think it's interesting that you saw that with Munster. No, I need a change here, as opposed to, you know what I mean, kind of stop the rot a little bit and brand new experience.
And even I saw it was the same as Johnny Wilkinson. You know, Johnny Wilkinson, things just didn't go from it. Then all of a sudden he moved to Toulon, and there's a cult hero there, took their team to unbelievable success. So, I mean, it seems to be working for you. You've got Munster this weekend. Are you looking forward to it? Is it like, you know, we always used to love the Interpros, but it's a different one for you. Like, are the team kind of relying on you to give them a bit of insight this week?
It's a proper match this week, is what he's saying, as opposed to, you know what I mean? You've a right game this weekend. No drinking on Friday night. It's Munster.
To be honest, we focused a lot on ourselves this week, so there wasn't a huge amount of input I could give. I gave a few, kind of the general gist of, I suppose, the mindset and how Munster operate, but
run at Crowley. Batter him.
I've picked the biggest centres to run at him, but no, it's just, yeah, it's a tough one, because it's actually watching Munster and Ulster this year. They're quite similar, and I suppose everyone's kind of falling into that Irish structure. It's to defend it, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, no, you're right. They're both very similar, as much as Donncha doesn't like to believe it.
What are you doing, Joey? Putting us in the same boat as that? But no, that's interesting.
No,
You say like what you're kind of seeing and what French teams are seeing is an Irish style, pretty much, is it?
yeah, it's and they're seeing the the shape of 3/9, the shape of 3/10, tips, zooms, kind of thing. It's what have viewed last week, what we viewed this week. So it's tricky because it's hard because the French system isn't as structured. So even in the defense, so to play against a structured, it's almost like two different ways of going up against each other, clashing, and then seeing what one comes out on top. And I think the tries that Ulster scored were great, but then you see the tries we scored. A lot of it's from broken play, or a lot of it's from poor kicks, where it's just open field. You give the right guy in the right space the ball, and you see what happens. Where I reckon it'll be quite similar this weekend as well.
It's going to be amazing. And I think you're right. You know, the thing about Bordeaux, you're just littered with danger players. You know, one loose kick something can create out of nothing. But at the same time, defensively wise, yeah, you conceded a few of those as well at the weekend. For you personally, though, you must be excited to come up against Munster.
Yeah, it's going to be strange. Like, I've had a good few of the boys onto me after they bit La Rochelle. They're all texting me saying, don't go, don't have too much luck tomorrow and all this. So it's going to be funny because, like I said, some of them are my best mates, and it'd be cool to see them again on Saturday.
Will you take them to the house, show off where you are, or probably be difficult?
I don't want them ruining it.
Yeah, true.
Some of those muck savages. No, I'm gonna meet up with a few of them on Friday. I think they get in the afternoon, so I'll go and meet them maybe for dinner and then just catch them after the game.
Joey, can I ask you a technical question? I wanted to ask a kicker. The minute shot clock, you know what I mean? It like has it changed a whole lot, or like the more that's online, you know what I mean? The when the game's in the clutch and you've that kick, is that something we really need in the game? Like, are we rushing a skill?
It's a tricky one because you do see some guys who would probably taken advantage of it where they take 2 or 3 minutes, but then other guys just kind of get on with it as well. So it's not really. I do think it puts more pressure on the T carrier. Yeah. You see someone maybe like a...
Never thought of that.
Yeah, exactly. You have to take Willie Bennett off it.
Yeah, exactly. Willie, or you sometimes see a scrum coach used to do it, but now it's good. Got the fittest member of the staff running it on as quickly as possible.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. To be fair, yeah,
that's true.
Well, they have to, because like sometimes when it's scored, and then even when they sprint onto you, you get the tee, you get the ball. It's 30 seconds left, and you're like,
it's hard for you to get a breath. I mean, if you run the length of the pitch as well, you're trying to get your breath for that.
We saw it in the Six Nations ads. That's why I kind of said I'd ask. It's a skill you practice so much. Why not leave the time for it? Like, I think it should be up to the ref to kind of say,
no, Donncha, speed the bloody game up. It's like you want to slow down scrums, slow down lineouts, slow down kicks, speed it up. The way Bordeaux gets Gail Barry on the bloody ball.
Making a show me in front of Joey Carbery. You're dead later.
You could do something by speeding up the rocks, by speeding up the scrums, maybe, if that's the thought process.
Get rid of them, you mean?
Tommy wants to get rid of them. Yeah.
You could do rugby league, I suppose, just in and out.
Yeah. I have to ask you. Listen, you would have been aware the whole Sam Prendergast, Jack Crowley stuff going on at the minute. This pitting against each other. You've been there when yourself and Johnny were put up against each other so much. They're two young lads. They're both trying to play for their provinces. Just like how difficult is that from somebody who's been in that situation where you're just trying to concentrate on your own job?
It's definitely difficult, and it's difficult also to block out a lot of the noise that people always say. You always hear professional athletes saying, "Oh, it's really easy I just don't read anything," but you can't even go to a petrol station without someone saying something to you sometimes. So, it's definitely creeps in, but I suppose it's part and parcel as well with the 10 jersey. You're either the hero or you're not, and I think you get a lot of unnecessary attention if the team wins, if the team loses. But then I suppose when there's two people competing for that kind of jersey, I think after Johnny as well, I think it was always going to have this attention around it.
Yeah. Joey, how bad is the social media side of it? Like, we were out the other end of that. You know what I mean? We used to rely on the slating ratings in the paper, where Tommy got a 0 out of 10 one
Speak
time.
for yourself, Donncha.
When you got the nod, fella.
You know. I was on Bebo on Facebook.
Well, we didn't have that to put up with, but an underperformance, and we actually heard about, Simon Easterby coming out with Tig and Andrew Porter, just saying how, that all kicked off after the
DuPont getting injured.
DuPont stuff. You know what I mean? Just how carefully about what you're looking up on social media or any of the lads.
Yeah, I suppose it's so easy for people who have real no idea to have their opinion and just be able to put it out there onto different platforms that a lot of people seem to see. Like for me, the best way is just, you can put certain blocks on people, you can follow certain crowds, you can get off the likes of Twitter or X or whatever it's called and follow the right crowd and only see what you want to see. But it is really bad. Like, I know even over here, our hooker had a bad game against Racing. We didn't have a bad game. He scored a try, actually, but the line-out wasn't good. But he was getting a lot of hate online afterwards, which is... in a game like rugby, I think it's quite unfair because so many different parts have to come together for it to be a successful game, especially with the line-out. But
get out of that. They just have to throw it in, those lads. I mean, if they could throw straight, it'd be easy. I mean, that's probably one of the beauties for you, that your French is terrible. You don't have to listen to read all the abuse. Can't understand
it. Goes straight over my head. But no, yeah, it is quite horrible out there sometimes, and it's the best for your ability just to try and not see it, because it's just a lot of people who've probably never got off a couch trying to give you their opinion on what they've done.
Big time. Here, tell us, what did you make of the Six Nations? Are you look forward even to the Lions in the summer?
Yeah, Six Nations was good. I thought France were on a different level. And then the Lions should be good as well. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what Joe does with Australia.
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously turned the corner with them last year.
Yeah.
And I suppose with more and more time, we know how good he is and what he can do with them, because they have some serious athletes. So
you don't see it.
Yeah, it's interesting to see.
You don't see it being 3-0, Joey, do you?
Yeah, it quite possibly could be. But I don't know. I think if Australia played a bit better than they did against some of the guys in November, I think they'll definitely put it up to them.
Definitely. And I just think Farrell against Joe, they know each other so well. It's going to be an unbelievable battle. Who would you go at 10? What do you reckon? What 10s might go?
I reckon it'll be Russell. I reckon he'll be the starter. I have a funny feeling Finn Smith will go as well.
Yeah.
I think he was really good in the Six Nations. And then third choice is chat that Owen Farrell's going to go. I don't know.
You
maybe
played against him a few weeks ago, didn't you? For Racing.
Yeah, he was for Racing. Yeah, so he's gone well with them. Racing are struggling a little bit this year, but the last maybe 2 months they've actually turned the corner a little bit. Their results have changed, but look, I don't think it would be the longest shot in the world that he goes, because obviously he's experienced. Yeah. Has he been on 2 or 3 Lions tours already?
3 maybe.
2 tours.
Right, yeah. I think he was in 2013 when I was there as well. So yeah, there would be 3 tours,
which I think is like having that experience in that kind of position is big. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of it, but there's still so much rugby, I suppose, to play. And like, even you look at what happened to Porter in the last one where he got injured that week before, 2 weeks before. There's so
cruel, yeah.
So much big games left to play. So it'll be interesting to see.
Right, should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Donncha, I've got a quick fire round for you. I've got 10 questions.
Geez. Who are you calling? Sorry, Joey, you're taking a flyer on this. What?
No,
Sorry.
I saw this in other podcasts. That'll be a bit of fun. Why not?
This is honestly, he thinks now he's on Ireland AM. No, man, you're chatting to like a sporting great, not an old age pensioner.
But people want to know, right? Okay, Joey, here we got 10 questions. I think it's
Joey,
10
sorry
questions
about this, fella.
My counting's not great. You're living over in Bordeaux at the minute. TV program. What are you watching?
We just finished The White Lotus. Very good.
You enjoy it? Bit of a slow burner.
Yeah.
Nothing fucking happens in it, Joey. Who are you calling?
the third season is probably the best.
Oh, okay, good. Right, last film you watched?
Last film I watched, jeez.
I know it's Bridget Jones. Go on, just tell us.
It's all right. We all.
I think it was actually the Robbie Williams one.
Oh
Have you
yes,
seen it?
with the monkey.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a belter. That.
I haven't seen it
It's
yet.
kind of strange that he's a monkey in it the whole time,
Yeah.
but it's quite good. I didn't know much about him, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's a good show.
I haven't seen it. A death row meal. What would be your last meal? Dominica's hating
McDonald's.
this.
I'm so sorry.
What
about
do you
this,
reckon?
McDonald's, I'd say.
Joe. Yeah, well done.
McDonald's? Like what? What are you going for?
Happy meal.
Chicken Legend. Happy Meal. No. Chicken Legend, I'd say.
Chicken Legend. Okay, now you're over in France. What wine are you ordering?
It has to be Bordeaux wine.
Oh,
Has
well
to be
done.
Bordeaux. There's a few nice places. Chateau Carbery is very good. It's in Bissac, which is not too far away, it's pretty good if I
Look
do
at
say
you.
so myself.
I
Yeah,
wish you were around a few weeks before I went to Narbonne, Joey.
if you what's your favourite other sport outside rugby?
Oh, jeez. This is like.
Golf.
Oh,
yeah.
will you watch
Well,
the Masters?
Oh, yeah, McElroy this weekend.
Yes. Call it
I
there,
hope he
Joey.
does it. I'd love if he did it, but I can't see past Scotty Scheffler. I think he's just incredible.
I've played golf with you, Joey. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. McElroy's going to do it. Messi or Ronaldo? Who are you going with?
What are we doing? Sorry, Joey.
Ronaldo.
Hard worker. Okay. If you weren't a rugby player, what do you reckon you'd be?
Oh, jeez.
Probably not a golfer. I can't answer that question. I have no idea.
He
Hey, you're
knows.
NBA. You've done a bloody
Yeah.
Masters.
He'll be a male
know.
model. Look at him, man. He's
Yeah. Beautiful.
beautiful
hair, doesn't he?
human being. Look.
Are you glass half full, glass half empty?
Half full,
Good.
definitely.
Need
There
to
you
be.
go.
Best nine
old
you've
Tommy.
played with?
Now it's getting saucy.
Tricky one.
Now it's getting saucy. Look at that. Now I see what he's done. Right, he's done you with the White Lotus to get to this. Tell him, jog on,
Luku.
Joey.
Luke is pretty good.
He's good.
Murray's very good.
Yeah, Morris.
And I'd say Jamison is up there as well.
Yeah.
I think Jamison
So,
Brilliant. No, he's giving you an answer. Move on to your next.
I'll say Gemma.
Gemma, good man. Okay, Crowley or Prendergast?
That will. Oh,
Oh. I thought you said this was lighthearted.
exactly. Good night and God bless.
We won't ask you to answer, but who are you going with?
As you move closer to the camera. Nah, I won't answer that one.
Pass.
Yeah, pass.
Listen, I'm just going to say all the very best this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm obviously an Irish supporter, so I'm going to have to support Munster as
That's
much as
true.
it sickens me over there.
But
But Donncha, go on, give it for the Munster people.
No,
here
no,
today.
of course, Joey. You know we can't say best of luck. It'll be wrong, and it would be in genuine, and we wouldn't do it. But we're so proud of you, man. We're so thankful for everything you did in the Munster shirt. We're delighted it's going so well for you over there, and we wish you unbelievable success with your beautiful family. We know we'll hop off each other on Saturday, but everyone at home, man, is so proud of you. Keep going.
Appreciate that. Thank you for that.
It's great to see an Irishman away flying the flag over there as well. And to Noel McNamara as well, doing a hell of a job.
Do you know what you need to keep an eye on, Joey? The Irish women are playing this Saturday in Virgin Media Park, and I have a bit of a goal for the Munster crowd and the Cork crowd, because ye have the record, Tommy. The most attendance is by the Kingspan. And I know there's lots going on Saturday, but if we could we spoke about the green wave and getting behind the girls in green. They're going to need it this weekend. They're up against Grand Slam champions, everyone's prediction for the Rugby World Cup. So if you're around Cork and you can get out to cheer on the Irish women this week, we would really appreciate.
Well,
Get out
if the weather is good, Donncha, and they have it on the big screen in Virgin Media Park as well, the Munster Bordeaux match. Geez, what a place to watch it as well ahead of the women's match. So it's going to be a cracker.
Make it easier.
Joey, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm envious of you getting to actually play with some proper wingers for a change. I tell you what, I look at those guys in awe. Unbelievable.
Yeah, chase a
best
kick
of
for you,
luck to
Joey.
Robin. And thanks to Bowe for staying quiet the whole way through
Yes,
this
yeah,
interview. How
amazing.
amazing is that?
Yeah.
And that's all from the Offload this week. Make sure you like, subscribe. Donncha, you were just saying, if you like it, send it to a mate, ask them to listen.
Please.
And we'll see you again next week.
Good on you, Joey.
Thanks, guys.